to wish you all a very happy New Year, a very joyful, fulfilling, healthy New Year for you and your families. To all of my friends watching it, to of those few subscribers, whom I thank you for subscribing to my channel, and to all new people that perhaps are watching this video right now. So 2018 has been a very learning year for me. It's been learning because I'm working on myself. I've been working on myself, and I've made personal journey additionally to being a mother, which I consider my job number one. I actually had a couple public presentations, actually literally 2 public presentations, and on top of that I have my son, who's been one in 4 months and 1 in 6 months. He's 20 months now, and you can hear him next to me here, kind of protesting and kind of curious what mommy is doing. So my son, I just realized that I realized early in the summer, in the late spring, that I had to choose my priorities, which are currently in my life, my motherhood, and my son needed all my attention, so I could devote it to my channel, which I of course still am very interested in building and connecting with people on the other side of my iPad. Here's my son. He definitely wants to participate and say hello. So today we will be talking about my 10 years in Canada. And as I said in the title, it will be an honest opinion. It's not just a clickbait, the honesty. Hello! And I won't probably cover all the topics in this one video, but I'll cover the ones that I prepared myself to talk about through my notes, so not to make this video uber long. Okay, here you go, baby, you can be in the video as well. This is my son Jacob. So the other day I had a prolific chat with my guests, my Polish guests, who have lived in Canada for over 20 years. And that conversation really inspired me, gave me that trigger to get back to recording. Now, just on the side, yes, you will be hearing occasional baby toys. 1 second, sorry. So, is it recording? Yes, it is. Wonderful. So, I really believe that, and I realized it this year, because I did have a very good Christmas. Me and my son had a very good Christmas. And a main point of celebration times like Christmas is a main point of celebration times like Christmas or other holidays, it's that one gets to increase one's wisdom through sharing experiences, light conversations with family members or with friends whom I friends are actually family, family of the spirit, not of the blood, but of the. I have a feeling there will be quite a bit of interruptions. Forgive me, please. My son is very curious in what I'm doing. I also still breastfeed my child. Hey, baby. So, hey, baby, what are we doing here? Hey. So, and that, of course, on top of spirit of togetherness, lovely house decorations, delicious food, and nice gifts. And for some people, spiritual uplifting. So I definitely felt that sharing of the wisdom was happening for me this Christmas. This is why I enjoy Christmas so much, and I put my whole love into it. So, one of the conversations that was important for me was with those two ladies I mentioned earlier, and it was about current Canadian society from perspectives of people who have lived here for longer than 20 years. Co kochanie, co znalazłeś? So I'm speaking Polish to him at times because I want him to be bilingual. There was a common opinion expressed by three of us. I've lived in Canada for 10 years. And this opinion was as follows. Some careers are simply not available for immigrants. The best careers socially accepted to be pursued by immigrants, and specifically by European immigrants, and specifically by Polish immigrants, are in customer service. Broadly understood customer service. It could be customer service in the store, it could be customer service in the bank, it could be an actual nurse working in the elderly home, any type of customer, client, patient care. I think at this point it is important to specify what a European means in Canada. And I would like to add a very important disclaimer. Two disclaimers actually. I won't be talking about the whole Canadian society. I will be talking about the society that is difficult to coexist with. In every society there is that part. 50% of great people whom I met in Canada, and some of their kindness I actually experienced in December through and through. And if you guys are watching, you know who I'm talking about. And my gratefulness to you guys is immense and actually motivating to keep recording. But there is also a difficult 50%. And I will explain to you how this indecent 20% look like in Canada. Second disclaimer, because, I think that, I want to say clearly, I am not racist. I really believe I am not racist. I am, just one second. So, I am not a racist. I am not who is against any currently existing parity. I don't want less inclusion. I do want more inclusion. I want most of all to be noticed, and to my social group to be noticed. And I would like to the problems I would be touching upon to be publicly discussed. And currently having the coming up subject on any social agenda can go very bad, very fast. So these subjects are gently avoided. And people get disappointed and their lives go worse than the potential these people have. Ti amo, baby boy. Yes, baby. Now, let's go back and let's clarify what being European means for Canadians. Hello guys, I'm actually recording a continuation of my presentation on the other day because I didn't really like former record. I think it was just taking too long. So essentially what I wanted to talk about, to continue my former thought, is what in Canada, what it means to be a European. What do Canadians consider Europeans? And it's very Canada specific. And I know that because I had a privilege and an opportunity to live in several different countries around the world, and except for maybe Asia and Africa and Australia. So, and everywhere over there, when you are born or you arrived to that country very early in your life, you want to call yourself a member of that country as soon as possible. In Canada, many Canadians sort of take pride to call themselves Europeans still, even though they were brought up in Canada. They have gone through educational system in Canada. They it's really their parents who came from Europe, and for sure they taught them some customs, some habits, and told them something about their country, their home country, but they told them how it used to be back in the day when they used to live there. And then those people are very much resistant to the idea that things might have changed. And whenever you discuss with them, they will always tell you, yes, I know, my parents are from there. But it turns out throughout the conversation, they actually don't have a clue. They really do not know. And they were brought up in this reality. They know this reality well, and yet it gives them some sort of pride to refrain to their ancestry, and actually they actually they swap really easily between, oh, I'm Canadian, when it's comfortable for them and it's in their favor, for example in the professional field, and oh, I'm European, I don't know, Polish, Russian, Ukrainian, German, when it's convenient for them. Same with the language. Some of them speak actually really decent language of their parents. Of course, they probably speak it the way that I speak English, maybe even worse. So it's their second language. But even if they don't, they will still try to convince the other person of the conversation that they do. And that's very common generally in Canada. That's the other thing I wanted to mention. Even if unaware of certain matter or knowing very little about it, and in the conversation, the conversation partner brings it in as something new, they will act as if they know a lot about it. And pretty clearly you recognize that they act. They don't really know much about it, but it's accepted sort of social game, seems to be. And when is it especially problematic? And I'm coming back here to the subject of work and hiring or employment, because being able to work in the field you're educated in and you have experience in, and making the money that you should be making based on your experience and education, it's really bottom line for better life. But oftentimes you go from one interview to another and your sense of self-worth is going down, because based on those artificial conversations, as I call them, you don't really know why you don't get hired. And it's hugely problematic, because it really is very much personal distrust of the hiring manager, or perhaps you presenting maybe slightly different set of values, because you, average European, is coming from a different culture than an average Canadian. Then the whole thing about holding foreign degree, which might be even recognized as the equivalent of the Canadian degree, but people don't trust it. So it's like 30 years ago, right? Or 40 years ago, when, for example, women were beginning to enter a workforce, and they were fighting to be recognized as equal to men, or equally capable of performing majority of jobs. They were still mistrusted, they were still making less money. It's exactly the same, and yet nobody talks about it. So this is really important to bring those subjects up into the conversation, and yet it's still so very rare. And in terms of general everyday operating in the society, here is how it looks like. As an immigrant, you might come across a very kind 50% who will respond to you simply as a member of Canadian society, which in its essence is a society of the immigrants, or the negative part of the society will make you feel uncomfortable, awkward. They will preach you. And what is it based upon? Well, I will try to explain the conclusion I came to. Imagine a customer service situation. You are in the shop and you're shopping for something, and the person working there doesn't really enjoy her or his job, or is really tired this specific day, and she is rude to you, or she is trying to teach you something. It could be in any other public circumstances. On the bus, a single mother getting on the bus with the stroller and taking 2 seats because there is her and there is her boy, and she needs 2 seats. That's simply a width of the stroller. And she's being apologetic and very kind, and yet there is still someone preaching her about it. Particularly that someone targets an immigrant. Imagine that single mother breastfeeding in the public area, even though it's totally legal and recognized as healthy and natural. Breasts are not sexual objects. They made to feed babies, human babies. The reason why the immigrant is targeted rather than Canadian born here on Canadian land, it's because potentially at some point during his or her upbringing, that person have heard some negativity about immigrants. And immigrants usually have an accent. So when she makes that negative comment, she just feels more comfortable. She knows there won't be a repercussion for it. Because, oh, maybe that immigrant didn't understand me. Or she must have been rude. Immigrants are so loud after all. Oh, I didn't understand what she said to me, so I must have answered incorrectly. It's really easy to create such excuse and then keep going with the negativity. I had people following me on the streets because I was singing a song to my child and literally questioning me, "You're not Canadian, right? We don't do it here." Just because I was positive and happy to my child. And believe me, I'm not the only one who experiences it every day. Now, being a single mother in Canada without really any family here, with a good support group around me, but very often alone, just with my child. In the long span of time, this type of attitude, receiving this type of attitude from the community can really bring a person down, can really lower her mood, her creativity. And that is a problem to me. I've really lived, and when I mean lived, I mean a year, or year and a half, or 2 years, in much more positive societies. The one here in Canada, particularly in Toronto, and I want to say that I lived in another big cities as well, is specific, but very negative. And it's specifically negative to immigrants. And I feel this is something that we need to finally start talking about, because apart from easier access to good jobs, apart from destroying the glass ceiling that is most certainly there, we should also feel comfortable in the community of Canadians as a whole, not only the one consisting of people who come from our home country. That's all for today. There will be another episodes coming. I have an idea for a couple more episodes in a short period of time. I hope you enjoyed this topic, and I hope you didn't find it too aggressive. I'm just trying to be honest and real. Once again, I wish you all very happy New Year. I wish for you all your plans to become reality, not dreams, because dreams belong to the realm of night, but plans, realistic plans that will make you feel more fulfilled. I wish you and to all your families and your friends that, and I talk to you soon. Bye.